This is a recipe that I've come up with that is really delicious. Sid loves it, I love it, and it's really quite healthy and tasty. The first thing I'm going to start with is toasting or roasting some pine nuts. And if you've never done this before, the big thing that you have to watch out for is that they don't burn. So you don't add any oil to the pan, just a dry pan, and it's really important that you keep turning them continually, probably for 3 or 4 minutes, until they just go a beautiful golden brown. Now, one of the things I use on the road to keep my pine nuts or things that may go stale quite easily fresh is these vacuum pump containers. This particular one's by Freshfield, but there are others on the market. Pump it a few times and then that lid just won't come off. Really good if you're sort of going on a rough road, a bumpy road, you know that that's very secure. I can tip it upside down, on tight, and they will stay fresh until the next time I want them, and then I'll do the process again. Now these are almost ready. As the pine nuts start to heat up, the oils release, you get a really beautiful smell, and they're starting to brown nice and golden, and you really don't want to do them too much more than that, or they'll have a burnt flavour and that will spoil your dish. So I'm just going to remove them now.
Smells like pine nuts again.
And I'll put this on to heat up. Add some oil, just a little bit. The actual ingredients list is on the DVD and you can print it out and use it, preferably covered in plastic, every time we want to cook something. Just going to throw in the onions. And you cook these probably 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5, depending on what heat you have your stove set at, but just until they're softened and starting to turn translucent. Because this in particular is a soft coloured or a light coloured dish, you really don't want to brown the onions. That's starting to sizzle nicely now. Just keep stirring it because, as I said, you really do not want these onions to brown. More important when you add the garlic, because garlic will burn very quickly. So just a quick toss, couple of minutes, and then you add the other ingredients. Because this isn't going to stew or simmer for 20 minutes or so like a normal tomato-based sauce, you really have to make sure that the onions are soft and cooked through. Unless you like crunchy onions. Now they're looking pretty good. I'm going to add the garlic. As I said, really important not to let the garlic burn. So keep stirring. Now I'm going to add the chicken. Quick toss. The pasta. And this has been pre-cooked. I cooked this pasta for about 12 minutes. You don't want it too soft because it is going to cook a little bit in this process. Stir that through. Now I'm using a white sauce base now because I'm using the basil pesto, but if you do want more of a tomato flavoured base, you can use something like this. This is sun-dried tomato and roasted garlic. Instead of using the basil pesto, replace it with a tomato pesto, and you could also add some sun-dried tomatoes chopped up. Now I can't open this, so I'm going to use my trusty tool. Give that pop, that's as easy as anything to do. That goes straight in. quick toss because you don't want the garlic on the bottom to burn. And start pouring in your carnation light and creamy milk. If I'd been really smart, I would have put the extra in here and shaken it to get rid of all the... You can see that happening in a big restaurant. Actually, ladies, you could exercise as well while you're cooking your man. So get the last of that out. Now I buy a cooked chicken already cooked from coals, cut off the breast and chop it up. How easy is that? Of course, if you're more conscientious than me, you could buy a chicken and cook it, but I like quick and easy. Now keep stirring that so it doesn't stick, and just make sure it's heated through before you add your cheeses. That's starting to smell really nice. Now I'm going to add my cheese. This is 2 cups of cheddar cheese and half a cup of grated parmesan. I use the fresh parmesan, but you can use the dry if you're travelling and it's more convenient for you. Give that a really good stir. Until all the cheese is melted. This will open it, otherwise I'll use my trusty tool. Easy. And I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of the pesto. I use the Coles variety or brand, but really any good pesto would do. I'm going to add the olives. I'm going to now add the chicken stock powder. Give that a stir. Now, sometimes when I've been on the road and it's been a cold night and I want to light the oven, I will put less cheese in than the 2 cups, perhaps a cup. Heat it up in the pot like I'm doing, but then I'll put it in a baking pan, top it with the extra cup or the cup of grated cheese that I didn't use, and bake it. And you get a lovely golden roasty crumb topping. Crumbed if you want to add crumbs, I guess. Now this is the fresh basil and the parsley. If you're on the road and can't get that, as I said, I use these tubes. And so there's the parsley. You can also get basil, and I've on the menu or recipe, I should say, I've given you the instructions if you're using those. These are extremely handy if you're crossing borders because even though they're fresh, you can bring them across the borders. Now that's pretty much done. I'm just going to heat it till the nice temperature's reached. Add a little bit of salt and pepper. Sid's very expensive salt and pepper shaker. Now with all of these ingredients, you really can adjust them to your personal taste. But I think this is a pretty good balance. That's starting to thicken up. Just get a spoon and have a taste, or a fork. Beautiful. Parsley's not quite cooked. Still a little strong. I'm going to let that continue for a little bit longer. A little bit more pepper. You could even put a little squirt of white wine in this. I think that might make it extra tasty. Last but not least, we have to add the pine nuts. And these really add a beautiful flavour to your pasta. I don't think you could substitute any other nut. I think pine nuts have to be it. I know they're expensive, but use them sparingly. And look what the smells have attracted. Want to taste Sydney?
Yes, please.
Sydney.
And the winner is...
Sydney. Now, when you serve it up, don't forget the flaked Parmesan cheese. I use the fresh stuff. I mean, the best way to do it is flake it and do your own, but... And a little bit of parsley. And there we go.
So easy, but so tasty.
You know what you think. I know why you married me. It wasn't for my wealth or my fabulous figure.
Fantastic. Come on, help me eat.
Hey, Sydney, you've already had seconds? That's for tomorrow night. Now start doing dishes.
I'm doing them, doll.